is the Aries new moon solar eclipse for April 20th, 2023. So we have the new moon in very late Aries, almost the sign of Taurus at 29 degrees. Yes, indeed. And later on the 20th, the sun and the moon will forward into the sign of Taurus. Additionally, we have Chiron, the healer, Jupiter, the planet of prosperity, in the sign of Aries. And Jupiter is, interestingly enough, making a very wide conjunction with both the sun and the moon in very late Aries. So this adds a touch of good fortune and prosperity to this new moon that may prove very good for the economy, investments, starting just about anything, businesses, even planting, relationships, you name it. A very good indicator of future success. Now, in the coming weeks between the new moon and the full moon in Aries and the next or the following full moon in Scorpio over the coming weeks, we have the sun and the moon then forwarding into the sign of Taurus. Yes, indeed. And the moon, by the end of the day on the 20th, will then move to conjoin the very sensitive North Node and oppose the very sensitive South Node in Scorpio. So it's North Node in Taurus, South Node in Scorpio. And the nodes are a very sensitive point. Yes, so there is, even at the eclipse, new moon in Aries, an out of sign, very wide out of sign conjunction with this north node. So there may be some important discussions, or at that time on the 20th or just after, there may be a very sensitive topic of discussion or some kind of an emotional event or discussion or of sorts that will affect us very deeply. But it may create conflict because of the South Node in the sign of Scorpio. So we're going to have to be very sensitive and very mindful of being overly touchy, overly sensitive on or around the time of the new moon solar eclipse. But then within days, the moon will then move to conjoin both Mercury, the communicator, in very stubborn Taurus, and Uranus, the planet of shock and the unexpected, in a matter of days. And we're talking within most likely about 2 days later. And what is Uranus? Yes, it's about the unexpected. And now we've got Mercury, the communicator, with Uranus, and then within 2 days, around the 22nd, we will have the moon. So there are going to be unexpected developments connected with weather-related changes, and especially what does Taurus rule but our Earth? So on and around the 22nd, we will have to be very mindful of earth changes, earthquakes, volcanoes, and the like, especially in the sign of Taurus. But what else? It's about Taurus is grounded. It's a new moon. It's a solar eclipse, so this heightens the energy of this connection here between the moon, Uranus, and Mercury, the communicator. So it's going to be all about cleaning up our earth, being connected, being grounded with our earth. So there's going to be much over the next 30 days of discussions regarding improvements with our earth, our atmosphere, and especially once Jupiter moves into the sign of Taurus as well. But with Mercury, it's all about communications also with what? With money, with, yes, banking, investments, our security. And what else is the second house? It's about what we value. And these will be highlighted themes for this Aries new moon solar eclipse. It's all about our value system. What gives us that sense of security? And especially because we have Mercury and the planet of the unpredictable, Uranus, making a sweet Earth water sextile to Mars, the planet of action, in the sign of Cancer. And Cancer, what is Cancer? Cancer is the fourth house. It's a water sign. It can be rather emotional, as all water signs. And it's about what? Our security, that which makes us feel secure, protection. It's about home and family. So, with this very grounding earth and water connection, it's going to be a lot about what makes us feel protected, about family and changes within family or structure. And this is good, however, also for the economy because of this grounded connection between Taurus and the connection of the fourth house, but it's also good for real estate, all forms of investment and money. And what else is the second house? It's about food. So do not be surprised if discussions turn towards culinary interests, food, or foods and what makes us feel secure. So these are also going to be a topic of discussion during the month of May and late April because we have this Taurus emphasis and with Jupiter making a very wide conjunction with this 29 degrees new moon. It's all about prosperity. So this is a time to see future growth. It is a time to start businesses. It's a time to begin anything, anything that you can cultivate because of the very earthy Taurus connection and with Mars, the planet of action, in very nurturing Cancer. Now, additionally, we have Venus, the planet of love, in Gemini. And what is Gemini? Gemini is the third house. It's all forms of communication, social media. It's the written word. It's the spoken word. So we are feeling rather chatty now. Lots of discussions about travel. We're feeling rather restless and we really want to communicate these ideas. We want to inspire each other what gives us security and to inspire each other about efforts for security, whether it deals with money, investments, food, our values, principles, you name it. This is going to be much in the topic of discussion. And especially since we've got Pluto, the powerhouse, yet in the sign of early critical 0 degrees of Aquarius. Now, Pluto in Aquarius makes no connection by aspect with Venus. However, this does lend with this air connection, Venus in Gemini, Pluto in Aquarius. This lends for wonderful detached connections with the group, consciousness, unity, our humanity, all forms of the collective. And because Venus is in air, Pluto is in Aquarius, there's going to be all forms of communication about what? Communications, the media, computers, AI, the future, space, the internet, you name it. These are going to be very highlighted. So much in the way of discussion via media, personally, about our sense of the future. And what gives us what? Security. And there's that word again about our money and feeling very grounded and what makes us feel protected. This is going to be the focus for this Aries new moon. And we still have Saturn, the planet of karma and responsibility, in the very tender, emotional, compassionate sign of Pisces. Now, this does not make a conjunction with Neptune, nebulous Neptune. However, the depositor for Saturn, as with Neptune, is Neptune in Pisces. So there's going to be some concerns or thoughts about water, that may be an overabundance of water, our atmosphere, especially connected with moisture or rain, or what? Because we have Saturn here, the lack of liquid, moisture, or that which may be some concerns connected with liquid water, minerals, and the like. And also, what is Pisces? It is the 12th house. So, because we have a solar eclipse right now, and it's about new, fresh beginnings, that leads me to believe this connection with Neptune in the 12th house, that there's equally going to be some veil of information that we have to figure out, to investigate the behind the scenes, the unknown, some information that we may feel is being kept from us, but equally because it is the new moon and solar eclipse, there's going to be some shocking revelations now, especially with this connection with Mercury and Uranus, and later with the moon. So do expect that we may find out some information that has been kept hidden that finally comes to light. But this information can only help to heal us, because we are talking Neptune and Pisces. So somehow we may have been suspicious of information, but now we can also close the book on what is revealed. So information being revealed is going to be rather prominent indeed, and especially since we've got this connection with Mars and the South Node in Scorpio, Saturn in Pisces. Now, Saturn and the South Node do not make a connection with Mars by aspect, but nonetheless, this water connection is very sensitive, tender, compassionate, and emotional. So this is the time during this Aries new moon solar eclipse that we are going to be discussing much in the way of what? Medicine and healing. There may be some new medical discoveries now, whether it's holistic or alternative, that will greatly benefit us, benefit health, wellness, healing, and that's all forms of healing, psychological healing, physical healing, you name it. So there's going to be a tremendous benefit medically during this Aries new moon solar eclipse. Yes, indeed, especially there's also the sextile between Saturn, the planet of karma and responsibility, and the North Node in Taurus, and out of sign between the late new moon in Aries and Saturn. A very grounded, intelligent uh, new moon solar eclipse indeed. So, at the end of the day, this Aries new moon and solar eclipse is extremely sensible. It's about really taking the responsibility and really connecting with our earth, our atmosphere, and it also connects with our principles, our ideals, and what we value, especially connected with this earth and water connection. It is also a wonderful time to build upon our finances and that which gives us security. If we can also be a little leery of the square off between Pluto and the new moon in Aries out of sign and try to sidestep conflicts and stubborn outlooks and open up communications, take a hint from Pluto and Gemini, then this will greatly benefit us. And this Aries new moon solar eclipse is going to be very intelligent, very cultivating, and certainly extremely positive.